This is log number 45. I'm recording this on the 30th of August, the last weekend of August. Evidently, in a few days, or when you're going to be listening to this, it's going to be September. So, welcome to September. Have a nice month. I'm going to be recalling what happened this week, and starting from Monday, as I said in my previous log, I wanted to conclude the flows re-advertisement blog, and with it, probably taking half of the week, I would have been able to continue onto the Stonemason and see the references before I start drawing the three final designs. Evidently, I couldn't do that. It took more time than expected to finish the flows blog. Honestly, it's been 2 weeks now. I finished it today and launched it today as well. I couldn't do it in the amount of time that I thought I could. It was quite interesting, to say the least, how my mind recollected every moment in those 4 years of painting, and how when I had blanks, it meant that I had a bit of a traumatic episode. And writing those down, finding those words, and bringing it together was intoxicating for me, in the essence of me healing myself, which I was in need. And primarily, as it narrows down, this sort of re-advertisement was more of a closure for me, if anything. And as I wrote towards the end of the blog, how incapable I am to understand marketing and the sale part of everything, because I'm, rather than just making it sort of interactable and flashy and so people can interact, get more hits, right? I added more context. I added more time that someone need to actually sit down to understand it. So it's the follies of my practice. I That's how I think, and for me to allow that to be my perception, both online and for myself, is something that I don't take lightly. And this is who I am, and that's what I'm going to be doing, regardless if it's beneficial to the sales or not. It's something that I want to be thought of this person who adds time and effort behind what he's doing. And if anyone is to give time and effort back, they're going to be equally rewarded with whatever the context of what I'm doing may be. So that's this week is spent on writing the final four paintings and then concluding them and adding the visuals, doing a cover, and basically adding embellishments around the blog. And now that I finally finished it, I launched it like 10, 20 minutes before this log. I feel a bit uneasy, given that I've exposed myself in the rawest of form online, which I'm used to, but this time makes me feel like it's something that I wanted to be said for so long ago, and I didn't have the words, I didn't have the energy, and now that it sort of gradually came to me, I was able to do that, and in doing so, I feel it's the healthiest thing that I could have done for me to completely let go of this chapter. And what is left is just to sell the paintings, and if they don't sell right now, they can sell at later stages of my life. It's not a big deal. It's just something that I won't be adding more effort into it, other than just, hey, this thing existed, go see this links or whatever, and you'll see what sort of elaborates in them. So yeah, Stonemason has taken a bit of a backseat at the moment in these last 2 weeks. But I have been thinking about them, and I have been thinking about my connection with the Stonemason, this character. And I've been feeling, for the past year now, given that it's been almost a year since I've started the Stonemason's journey, I've been feeling how I have been able to relate to the Stonemason, and how clear distinction should be and has to be made between me and him, so that I don't overcompensate myself onto his character, given that I'm creating a character, a new character that is different from me, live different things, evidently, and just have some parts that we think alike. Therefore, it's the interest of me creating this character. And I've been thinking how I've been so invested in this character that I've been a bit detached with my life. I've been a bit detached with my social circles and everything. and it's not a bad thing. But when I acknowledge it, I feel that I have to find a balance of some sort. And even if I don't, I think this practice of me becoming something so I can let it go and express it is a thing that many sort of storytellers in all type of mediums can relate. For the period of time that you're depicting something, it's hard for you to be anything other than just what you're depicting. And moments like this that I took the 2 weeks off to break away from that, I felt that myself was there, you know, reliving those moments and seeing how my past self was acting and the lessons that I only now did I was able to understand, because many of my lessons that I've learned couldn't be understood back then. And now, after the years that have passed and my sort of disconnection from the problems, I was able to see it at a third person's perspective. And in fact, it sort of made me think how the Stonemason would have thought about his problems, given that problems in his life existed, and now it's sort of like a recollection and brooding that he's sort of going under. And I find it to be interesting to see how I acted on that behalf, and how this person is going to act now. And now moving back into this, going back into feeling like him in depicting his story, in writing how I think he would have written, um, begins to ask some questions. Evidently, I couldn't move forward in the story physically and in the workload that needs to be done. But beginning this week is all about the stonemason from now on. I don't really have anything else that is pending, or I've cleared out my metaphorical plate and I'm able to dive deep into this and hopefully make for the December deadline. Now, it brings a little bit of stress how close we are and how many things I need to do still. But at the same time, I acknowledge that if I don't meet the deadline on that day, I can just extend it until it's done, which is, I honestly think it's just an extra month, because I only have 3 more designs to do, and then compile, sort of combining everything together and then making this come into fruition. So yeah, I think regardless, it's gonna be something of a learning curve as well as my previous theme has taught me. So yeah, short log, but this has been my mindset for this week. And with the new week, we're gonna be going back into the stonemason and seeing how this break and these consecutive breaks, given that I traveled as well, is going to be adding into the stonemason. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll be seeing you in the next week.